Ciao amici, here we are in Coletta on a pretty cloudy, overcast 1st of May. And I thought I'd do a tour of the works that we've done during isolation. We're in 2nd month of the isolation here, 2 months that we've been hardly left the village. Here we are on our lower terrace, which is the one most recently hacked out of the wilderness that you can sort of see behind. And we're probably thinking of doing a veggie patch down here because there's a nice big gap in the trees, so the sun would normally be coming in through there. 1 o'clock, there's the bell. And so the first works I'm going to show you that happened during isolation are these works here, not from Jan and me, but this is the digging of the Chingali. Oh, look at the stones they found. Why don't they find these stones when I'm building walls? And some more diggings here. Luckily they haven't dug up any of our plantings yet, and stuff like that. Okay, so in the 2 months that I've been in isolation, the first of my projects was I built these little stairs here to get us down to this lowest terrace. They're all a bit higgledy-piggledy, but you know, no cement, and they seem to work pretty well. So we can get up these stairs pretty well. And these stairs were there from a couple of years ago, and these ones did use cement. And the other good works we've done, we built this little retaining wall here to get the bit of soil, and planted a new apricot tree. Albococco is here, and this whole terrace was a rock quarry for a while because a whole bunch of rocks fell from above, and this is what I used to build over the last 2 years, that ramp there. And this trip in the isolation, I turned the ramp into stairs, so all the actual steps up there, that was this trip. And also I redid all these walls along here well, that's I'll step back a bit. That's an original wall there, and you sort of see the slight change of colour. That's to my new work there. So hopefully you can't tell too much difference between my higgledy-piggledy rock wall and a genuine Ligurian higgledy-piggledy rock wall. Although it's getting to the stage where I can't actually tell which bits I've repaired. Oh yeah, here's another bit I repaired this trip. You can sort of see it's a little bit brownier. That had fallen out underneath that tree there, so that was being rebuilt there. But I'm pretty sure I haven't done that bit there. Anyway, so other works this trip. Let's see, up these stairs. We did a lot of pruning on the olive trees. So we're not expecting a huge harvest, but I'm just noticing that quite a few of them have, here you can see the little buds that'll turn into flowers very soon. And if the weather cooperates, those flowers will turn into olives. And so some trees have lots of those, but then some branches like here, there's none. Nothing, 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 nothing. So, bit of a mixed bag. Even if all the buds turn into flowers and all the flowers turn into olives, we'll have some branches that'll have heaps, like this one here, and some that'll have none. Well, here's another good one. I really should be a good farmer and keep track of what I did to the tree to make it have lots of flowers and what I didn't. It's all part of the pruning cycle, but yeah, whatever. My memory is shocking. Oh, some of them are actually quite good. Here we go, look at that. Okay, so other works. We've done little bits around the pizza oven here. We've cemented in the back there because a lot of water and runoff was coming in there, so that was done. And all that goes in behind the cupboards here, which had too many holes at the toppy the rats could get into, or large mice could get into. So that's been sealed up a little bit better, and what's inside there is also sealed. The other good works we've done is, you can see up there, that's a solar regulator because we've got a solar panel on the roof, and that's charging the battery, that was last year's project. We now have a new solar spotlight which we can turn on to augment the strip lighting that we had last year, which is now solar powered, and over there as well. So once we can go back into operation, we can have solar powered lights. We did an irrigation system, so there's plumbing now from the water tank above. So there's a couple of spots on the terraces we now have water. It's not really drinkable coming from a rainwater tank that's not well looked after, but it's good for washing up, or you can boil and stuff. Jan did a great job revarnishing all the tables, so they've all been done. Again, look at that nice distance between the two tables. So when this restaurant reopens, we'll have our social distancing done really well. We found a good spot to hang the hammock that Pablo and Anna gave us. It's a nice spot there. This ramp's new as well. This was rebuilt. Well, it wasn't a ramp before. There was just a couple of stones that you stood on to get up the wall. So I've made this a ramp. The idea is every terrace now has a set of stairs to get to it for rapid up and down, but also a ramp so you can get to it with a wheelbarrow. So you know, if you need to carry heavy stuff, here's the trusty old wheelbarrow here. And the old shed, which is holding up pretty well actually. So bits and pieces in there. What other new things do we have? Okay, so here's the actual solar panel itself. It's not very big, but it seems to do the trick. You saw the green light down below, so it's charging at the moment. It's a bit, you know, shadowed by these branches at the moment, so I'll hack some of these back, but not for another month because you can see that they're currently full of what will be cherries eventually. In probably another couple of weeks, so it'll be nice and red and lots of cherries. Here's some more cherries here. Not too sure how we're going to harvest the ones out there over the top of the roof, or the ones way up there, but yeah, we'll get to them somehow. Another water tap added to the mix. Yeah, okay, more olive flowers. They're looking quite good today. I walked around yesterday and didn't see any of them, but they're heaps there. And so here's our test veggie patch we've done. We just had a couple of potatoes on the very first week of isolation. We thought, oh well, let's plant these potatoes in case we are short of food. So we got about 6 potato plants have popped up there. We also whacked some excess basil in the ground, which is way too early, so it's basically dead. But hopefully when it warms up a bit, it'll be good. And then the other day we did some peas. So there's peas planted at the base of this little climbing rack there. Oh, this tree's looking great. Look at this. Look at these buds. They should all be olives. Well, they'll be flowers, and if the weather is nice while it's flowering, they'll turn into olives. Okay, other quarantine projects. Another set of rickety stairs. So this wall here was completely rebuilt. You can see our apricot tree there, and the rope's holding it up. It's whenever it rains, it sort of slips down the hill. So this wall here was bulging out with all the soil, you know, slumping down behind it. So it was that height, and so I've rebuilt all this section here and made it a little bit higher, and then stepped it back a little bit and made another little section there, so we can actually see it's got some level ground around the base of the apricot tree, which luckily, oh, apricots coming, a little bit of a blush on them. There's some more in there. It's not packed, but he's got a fair few. And oh, the other thing we did is we planted this lemon tree here, spliade lemon, that will grow up that, against the wall there. And we planted the mandarin tree here. So 2 new additions. Oh, and here's some new works. This is not our works, this is the badger, I think, who's dug in underneath our compost bin and spread it all around. So I've set the camera trap up a couple of times, but haven't caught badger actually in the act of digging yet, but I'm pretty sure it's him. Looks like a badger-sized hole. Oh, this tree's full of olive buds. Oh, just hope the weather's good. He's a bit loose on leaves, this guy. He's a bit scrappy, but I mean, lots of buds. Oh well, could be a good season. There's the water tank that went in last year. Rosemary out of control. Oh, olive tree with hardly any flowers. A few. These are we have some olives which are very strange, which see like got like a little bit of mold or fungus or something on them, and they're very sort of dry looking trees, and very few flower buds. Well, there's a few over here, so oh well, you never know. We might get some olives even off these scrappy ones here. So the other thing we had was this used to be blocked off here with a sort of knee-high wall, so I couldn't get my wheelbarrow through, so I've taken that out through there. And this is the public walking path, sentiero, from the valley floor up to the village. And what I did is, a bit of novelty, I recreated the way they do the pavement originally. If we actually looked underneath down here where the original path is, you can see that there actually is stonework all the way underneath the grass down there, mostly covered up. It had all been destroyed here, and this part of the road I'd rebuilt, so I gave a go of rebuilding it. And the really cool thing is, as you dig up the stones that were in there, you see stones like this. See, a lot of the stones here have very sharp edges, whereas the stones that have been used for walkways, they're all rounded edges, because, you know, for hundreds of years people have been walking on them and rounding off the edges. So as much as possible, I found the ones that had been used as in the path before, and put them upwards as well. I was cheating a bit and made it quite narrow because it would be a bit hard to, well, I didn't have enough rocks to go full width. But wouldn't it be great if we had all the paths back done that way? There's a lot of work. And the other quarantine job was the rainwater harvesting system. This patch of blackberries here, when it rains heavily, a torrent of water comes down this little valley here, normally breaks all the walls and causes disruption. So that was part of the reason I rebuilt the old road here, to take the water away. But this trip I've hacked back all the blackberries and built that little dam there with a little sluice gate in the middle, which goes into that box. Then near the top of the box, once it's filled up with water, is a filter. Basically a large pipe with lots of little tiny holes drilled in it, which will go into this pipe here and take the water down to fill up the water tank. Okay, and then the last of the good works, this is the end of my land here. That's condominium land up that way. You can actually just see the village tucked up through there. And so I eventually want this road, or this path, to be well made all the way up here, but it's not my land, so I'm only sort of scratching at it a little bit at the moment. And you can see the village there. And another great view of the compost bin and the tank. Oh, look at these cherries. Some of these have got some colour on them. Ooh, look at that. Had a fair bit of rain, so some of them are splitting a little bit, but hopefully it'll stay dry. And I see this one's split. Oh, I don't know, that could be a bird. But oh well, not too soon. You know, we'll have some cherries. Great. Okay guys, that's what we've been entertaining ourselves with during quarantine. Hope the restrictions ease soon, people can come visit again. We'll see you again sometime. Cheers, bye.